Hi, my name is Aya, you're watching Aya Reads, and I'm here to introduce my vlog of me reading both Phantasma and Enchantra. So I got lucky and I received Enchantra earlier in the mail. So my plan was to actually do a separate vlog for Phantasma and then read Enchantra as a new release, but now that I own both of them, I'm gonna just put them both in the same vlog, and hopefully that vlog will be up either the day Enchantra comes out or the day after, so very excited about that. I'm actually very excited to read Phantasma. I by the time of filming this intro, I have already started it. I'm on page 244. But the reason I was so excited to read this is because this one almost made it into my video of reading BookTube's favorite romances of 2024. Let me tell you how many people actually said Phantasma was one of their favorite books, and I'll leave all their names here. Yeah, 21 people said Phantasma was one of their favorite books, so that's very exciting for me. I just assumed I was going to read it for that video, so I'm glad I get to read it now. So yeah, let's cue to the vlog of me reading both these books. And if you're down there, leave me a... Is there a skull emoji? Let me check. Yeah, there is. Leave me a skull emoji. Because both these covers obviously have skulls. Alright, I am on page 156 of Phantasma. I'm really enjoying it. So Phantasma is about this girl named Ophelia, and to me it's not very clear when this book takes place, like in what time period. It seems a little bit like set in like older times. She wears dresses with corsets, there's carriages, but also like automobiles. It first takes place in New Orleans, and it seems in this world everybody knows about paranormal creatures because there are immortal paranormal beings like vampires, shapeshifters, familiars, and ghosts. And then there's mortal paranormal beings like necromancers, seers, witches, specters. And Ophelia is a necromancer, and she became one after her mother died. So you start this book off with her mother just having passed. So when her mother died, she had like until midnight for her to transfer her mother's necromancy powers onto herself, which she manages to do. And then she and her sister find out that her mother is in debt and they are at risk of losing their house in a month unless they pay off the bank, which of course they don't have the money to do so. So she and her sister get into an argument, and then when Ophelia wakes up the next day, her sister is nowhere to be found, and from clues in her sister's room, she realizes that Ophelia has probably entered Phantasma, which is this game, like this competition that the devils host. I guess it's this ancient, like it's this dark, haunted castle. When you enter, you have to give up your biggest fear, and then basically the competition is that you have to go through all 9 levels of hell, of Dante's Inferno. Each level is some other hellish thing that you have to endure. So it's a competition, and whoever wins gets this devil's grant that basically grants you your wish, your greatest wish. Like whatever you want, you'll get. But a lot of people don't make it. Either they forfeit or they die. And basically anything in this castle is designed to hurt you, kill you, or make you forfeit. There's devils and ghosts that are making deals with mortals. So basically it's an impossible game. Ophelia has OCD, like from the very beginning that was very clear. Like she has these compulsions and these obsessive thoughts, this thing inside her head telling her that she must do something or else either she or somebody she loved will die. So, and I actually read the author's note at the end, and I would highly encourage you to do so because it is on Voices. Kaylie Smith has OCD. So, and I do, obviously, I like that representation. While she's at Phantasma, she's trying to find her sister, but she cannot really find her sister because when the participants get sorted in these different groups, until you reach level 7, you cannot interact with any other group. So she doesn't have a chance of finding her sister unless she manages to get through the first 7 trials. And she also meets this... Okay, so since she's a necromancer, she's used to... or she has been seeing ghosts. And there's different classification of ghosts: phantoms, poltergeists, apparitions, and ghouls. The most common ones are apparitions, which are completely non-corporeal. And it's basically people who've died who have yet to cross over. The day before she actually enters Phantasma, she already enters the building and she interacts with some sort of ghost. And they have this cheeky conversation, but she cannot see this ghost, so she leaves. And then when she enters, she comes across him again, and this time he is corporeal, and it turns out that he is a phantom, and his name is Blackwell. And Blackwell, first of all, he has no memories of why he is tied to Phantasma. All he knows is Phantasma, and he basically makes deals with one person in the games. He wants to make a deal with Ophelia as well. He wants her to find something for him, and in turn, he will help her through these games. And if she doesn't help him, like if she doesn't manage to find whatever he's looking for by the end of the games, she will forfeit 10 years of her life to him. They have this flirty banter going on. Blackwell, I already like him. I think he is such a fun character already. I like their interactions together. And he has this cat named Poe. I do have to say, he kind of reminds me a little bit, if you've read the Crescent City series, he reminds me of like one of the demons of hell. I don't know if I'm the only one who thinks that, but he does. So far, I'm very intrigued. I like this competition-based game. I like that they have to enter all these like 9 levels of hell. I always like it in books when the 7 deadly sins get mentioned in any shape or form. So obviously in this book, she has to go through that. The next one is going to be lust. So I'm very interested to see how that's going to play into their dynamic. I'm also wondering like what Blackwell's history is. Obviously, he not only does he not remember anything before Phantasma, he also has gaps in his memories because he doesn't remember them already meeting, and he divulged something to her that he needs to find out, like to figure out, like that can help him, yet he has forgotten that he knew that and that he mentioned it to her. He thinks that since she's a necromancer, he will have a better chance of her actually completing his bargain. So far I'm liking it. I do have to say, the beginning, before she entered Phantasma, or no, before she had any interactions with Blackwell, I was kind of bored a little bit. It took me a little bit longer to read, but now that they're interacting and they have this banter going on and she's actually entering the trials, I am more entertained. So we'll have to see what's gonna happen. I think I'm just gonna continue reading, and I will update you once I finish. I already know that, so the second book is actually about her sister. So I know Genevieve will survive, but I am very excited to see what Phantasma is going to bring. So Phantasma was actually on a lot of people's favorite books of the year. So far, it doesn't feel like that to me, but I'm only like 30% of the way through, so I'm not far in yet. But yeah, I am looking forward to finally seeing them, Blackwell and Ophelia, have some like romantic interactions. And I'm like looking farther ahead. Like, he's a ghost, technically, so I am interested to see how they're gonna get their HEA. Although I have read The Immortals After Dark, there is a romance between a ghost and a vampire that does have a beautiful HEA, so we'll have to see. But yeah, so far I am very entertained and very much looking forward to reading the rest. So I really want to finish this tomorrow because I want to start this tomorrow so I can have it finished by the time it comes out. This one came a little bit earlier, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, I need to do a lot of reading today to accomplish that. So let me get going on that. Okay, so I just got back from the supermarket because I want to make Brazilian lemonade. So there is this like cafe/restaurant in Rotterdam. It's called Supermercado. I would 100% recommend that if you're ever in the Netherlands and ever in Rotterdam. They have like this South American style restaurant, and they have Brazilian lemonade there. And that is my favorite drink of all time because I love lemonade and I love condensed milk. So that is made for me. Yet I never made it myself. And then yesterday I was scrolling on YouTube and I saw this short of somebody making it. I was like, oh my God, I need to make that. So I'm gonna take you with me and make it. Excuse the mess that is my kitchen. I don't want to clean it, so you have to deal with that. Also, while I was at the supermarket, I saw this thing. Can you see that? It's like a little hamburger thing. Apparently, I don't know, I've never seen this before. It's Albert Heijn sells it, which I used to work there. I don't know, I think it's a new thing. They sell it with the croissants and like the freshly baked goods. I don't know, this could be really good or really bad, so I thought I'd do a taste test. If you're not from the Netherlands or have no plans of going to the Netherlands, this is not interesting to you. But maybe if it's that good, maybe you can convince your supermarket to make it. I don't know, I just... let's try it. Let's try it. So this is cold. It's not that good. Although I do have to say, if I was still working at Albert Heijn, because we had to get our lunch there or dinner there, I think I would 100% buy this a lot. Because it is something different than what you usually get, but it's not that good. Like, this needs to be warmed up a bit. It's not awful, but I would not buy it again. I do like the sauce. Anyway, let's do the Brazilian lemonade. Hopefully that will turn out better. All right, I'm gonna make this lemonade now. So I have 2 lemons or limes that I just washed because I need the zest of 2 limes. I'll leave the recipe in the description. Basically, use 2 reels. So there are recipes that says you need to plunk the whole lemon or the whole lime in the mixer. I'm not gonna do that because apparently that makes it bitter. So, okay, so I'm gonna zest the limes now. Okay. So I'm gonna put the zest in my blender now. And now I'm gonna remove the skin from these limes. And I'll put them in the blender. And now I need 2 cups of water, and I'm gonna put that in the blender too. I just realized that I didn't film. Basically what I did was, after I put some water in here, so 2 cups, I pulsed for like 6 times or something, or 7 times. Then I strained, let me show you. I strained all the pulp with a strainer basically. So I just poured the liquid in here, and then this is what was left. So this is not going into the final product. And this is what we're left with. Okay. Now, I need some ice. So let me put some in here. The guy said a handful. You know, my hands are quite tiny, so we're gonna see how much we're gonna put in here. Okay, I think that's enough. And we're putting the liquid back in. Alrighty. And now for the star of the show, the condensed milk. So I don't know. So some say like the whole can, but I just think that's a little bit too much. So let me put like half of it in there. Yeah, let's do that. Yum. I mean, this is a little bit more than half, but I mean, Condensed milk is just my favorite thing in the world. Okay, so now we're gonna pulse again. Look how creamy that is! Oh, amazing. Okay. I think that should be enough. Let me do a taste test. Yeah, that's great. Okay. We're gonna do a proper taste test on the couch, but let me pour it in. So all right, this is what it looks like. Look how creamy. Let me try it. Yep. Oh, that's so good. I honestly think, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, but I think this next time I'm gonna use a little bit less condensed milk, because I like a little bit of the tartness and the sourness of the limes, and it feels like the condensed milk is overpowering it a little bit. But having said that, it is so good. It is so fucking good. Deliciosa or delicioso. I looked it up. Apparently it's the same thing in Portuguese as it is in Spanish, but I don't know if Brazilian lemonade is like a female thing or a male thing. So anyway, yummy. I would highly recommend it. It's so easy to make. You just need water, ice, limes, and condensed milk, and like mixer thing to mix it all in. It's so good. Amazing. So I finished Phantasma yesterday. This was not really my favorite. I ended up giving it 3 stars, and I was debating giving it a 2-star, but I think the ending really saved it for me. I was on the edge of my seat. I wanted to know what was happening. My jaw was on the floor. Like, I thought she nailed it with the ending. Then there also comes my criticism, is I felt the ending was way too rushed. Like, by the time some like big thing was revealed, we only had like 10 pages left and that was it. Whereas I really wanted to know more information. I wanted to know like what the ramifications of like the information we just got were, but it was just like over like that. I didn't feel like she stuck the landing very well. Also, not just with the plot, but also with the romance, because I felt like there was pacing issues with this book in general. I felt like the beginning was way too long, and then the middle part with all the trials, that was too repetitive for me. Like, basically what that middle part was, you know, she had a trial, and then her and Blackwell would fuck, and then they would look for clues. And then she had another trial, and then they would fuck again, and then they would look for clues again. And that was basically the middle part over and over and over again. And the only thing really interesting that was happening in the middle part were the different trials. Like I said in the beginning, I do like the whole 9 levels of hell thing. And I was very interested to see like which sin, like what kind of level would be, like what we would see for like a particular type of sin. And I thought she was very creative with the levels. And like some of them were very, very gruesome. Like one of them, I just wanted, like, I'm still like gagging just thinking about it. So, but like those trials were the only thing very interesting, and those were like the shortest parts. I felt like this felt very insular. They were only together for a week, and the reason it felt insular to me is because I'm currently reading Enchantra, and even though I do think this is going to be the same length, I feel like in the book, I'm going to talk about this later, but I feel like they had sex way too quickly. Like, because they had sex so very soon after meeting, it eventually became boring. Like, I just wanted her to take her time with them skirting around each other, flirting a bit without actually getting physical. Because even though, you guys know I read smutty books, but if it's just like this repetitive, it just gets boring after a while. With one of the last few with the last few sex scenes, I really was tempted to just skim through it, because I was like, this just doesn't really add anything. It doesn't add character development, it doesn't add anything to the plot, and it doesn't really add anything to this relationship. It wasn't an erotic romance in the fact that these sex scenes didn't really change the dynamics of their relationship in any way. It was just like similar sex scenes, and it just didn't really add anything to the story. So I just wish that the middle section was cut down a little bit, and we just focused on the trial. And yes, of course, their relationship too. Like I didn't mind them having sex a couple times, but not like they could have had it, we just didn't need to see it, is my point. So I just wanted, like, as far as pages is concerned, like the middle section to be a little bit shorter, so that the final part, like the most interesting in my opinion, could have been a little bit longer. Also, I didn't really enjoy these characters too much, especially Ophelia. First of all, I thought she didn't have any personality at all, and it's becoming abundantly clear to me now that I'm reading her sister's book. There was nothing that interesting about her, and I know that's the whole point, is that she was always confined to Grim Manor, becoming a necromancer, while her sister got to be free and run around and develop a personality, basically. I get that it made sense for her character, yet that didn't make this book that didn't make her a less boring character. I just really didn't understand why everybody was this obsessed with her. And because she was so boring and he didn't remember anything about himself, that made this relationship not that interesting in my opinion. Also, I just got tired of her, but also him. But she did it more, saying, we really need to stop, we cannot fall in love. And then 5 seconds later, it's like, please make me forget everything. And then they would bang each other again. It's like, if that happens once, okay. But it happened at least 3 times. And by the second time, I was already over it. It's like, girl, either decide you're gonna be together or decide that you shouldn't be together. But this, and that just added to the repetitiveness of it all. I know some people had issues with the nickname. He calls her Angel. Don't call me Angel, you ain't got me right. No, but I really enjoy nicknames. I do. Yes, was it at some points like, okay, too much? Yes, but I really didn't mind. Especially since I liked the juxtaposition of them being in this 7 or 9 levels of hell type game, and him calling her Angel. I really enjoyed that part. I also liked all the praise, the praise kink in this book. Every time he praised her, I just melted. I really like that. And going back to the whole sex thing in this book, yes, I really want to make it clear, it's more so the repetitiveness of it, the amount that was just too much in when you compare to what was not added, So what she took away from this book to have another sex scene, that annoyed me, but the way they had sex, I did enjoy, I'm not gonna lie. And I just think at the end of the day, she didn't convince me enough that these two were in love. And especially, I don't want to spoil it, obviously, but when you end the book, it's more than, I don't know how she can be so sure after a week that this is the guy she's going to spend the rest of her life with. The author just didn't convince me of that. And especially reading the ending, in my opinion, you need to be sure. And a week just does, I don't know. I cannot believe that you're that sure, is all I'm saying. So yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I did like the gothic vibes. And this definitely, some scenes in this book were definitely horror. I cannot stop thinking about that one scene, that one game. Let me see which one that was. With the truth game. Deceit, I think. Yeah. The deceit game. That, I cannot forget. So yeah, 3 stars. I can definitely see why people like this, because it is definitely if you really like a game-based, something with a competition, you're gonna like this. But I don't know, I just feel especially comparing it to the second book, I already prefer the second book over this one. And if I was not reading this and the second book for this vlog, I don't know if I would have continued, and that would have been a shame, because like I said, I am enjoying the second book. Speaking of, so before talking about this, A part of me thinks you can read this without having read Phantasma, except it does spoil some parts of Phantasma. Not like really big things, but some things will just not be a surprise anymore if you read Phantasma. So in that case, I don't know if you can read it as a standalone. So anyway, Enchantra, you follow Ophelia's sister Genevieve. Ophelia sends her sister to Italy because her sister, or Genevieve, always wanted to travel and especially see Italy. So actually, the way this book starts off is very gripping, because literally the first sentence of the book is Genevieve Grimm's first murder was in the heart of Rome. I'm just gonna leave it at that. That definitely is a scene to very much hook you. So Genevieve in Phantasma, you find out that she really is like a snoopy, like she likes to snoop, especially likes to learn like things about her mother and her mother's secrets, since her mother always prioritized Ophelia, since Ophelia was gonna be the one to take over like the family business, and Genevieve always felt like she was not prioritized and kind of neglected in some ways. So she found a letter addressed to her mother from this guy named Silver something, Barrington Silver, asking her to visit him before like the equinox or something, before the eve of the spring equinox. So when she gets to Italy, she goes to the address. When she gets there, it's just a barren land. There's nothing there. Eventually she realizes it's like a glamour and that really is a house. When she wants to enter, this guy named Rowington Silver is there, and he tells her that she needs to leave and that she shouldn't be here and that she's not welcome. She bypasses him and does manage to enter into the house, but doing that kind of seals her fate, because she entered on the eve of the hunt, which is, this family basically is cursed by a devil. So, not cursed, but basically this is a family, so the father is a human and the mother is a demon, which a human and a demon paired together create wraiths. And the mother, the demon, she has this terrible illness that doesn't really have a cure, and their father, who is a human but also a familiar, and familiars usually, if you watch Charmed, and also in this book, usually familiars are animals, but they can also be humans. And if you tie yourself to a demon, or a devil, I'm sorry, when you tie yourself to a devil, you get to live as long as the devil does. So their father, Barrington, has been alive for a very long time. And since he wants a cure for his wife, he made the devil he's tied to prolongs her life, and he's been doing that for years. The only catch is that his family, his children, have to play in this hunt every single year. They have to fight each other to the death, and everybody that dies doesn't actually die, but they have to live a year in hell. And the sole victor, so the person so the person who won against his siblings, his or her siblings, they get to stay on the earthly plane. And since Genevieve entered, everybody that is in the house has to participate in the hunt or they get killed. And then there's this other rule where if you're not a silver, you immediately get killed anyway. So in order to, since their father really loved, or like was a good friend to their mothers, he wants to save Genevieve. So both he and Rowan propose that she gets married to Rowan, so she will become a silver. And there's this other loophole. These games get watched, by the way, just like Phantasma. So there's mirrors everywhere, and these mirrors are like basically cameras that transport to hell, where people can, basically Hunger Games like situation, where people can watch the games or the hunt, and they can bet on the hunt, and they can, and that earns this devil, Nox is his name, money. And this loophole, if a married pair win the game together, they get released from this deal. So obviously Rowan wants to be released from killing his family every year. And he wants to find a cure for his mother, and his siblings don't believe that there is a cure. So this is a marriage of convenience book, which is one of my favorite tropes. I really love Genevieve, especially comparing it to her sister. This girl does have a personality. Obviously, that was clear from reading Phantasma, but especially in her own book, I really love her. I think she's funny. I love that she's not perfect in any way. I like how confident she is and very secure with her sexuality. She's a plus size girl, and I really like that mix of her being very confident and like sexual. I like that. And I like their dynamic together because right now I'm on page 232. Even though they're married, they have not had sex yet. And by the 232 page mark in Phantasma, these two have already had like sex at least 3 times, which this fact that these two have not had sex yet, but like already being married and being attracted to each other and like magical things that make them lustful, it makes it very interesting to read and very entertaining to read, and also like makes me root for them to actually, like, it makes me excited for something to happen. I also really like Rowan. I like his personality. I like how it's the opposite of hers. He is very grumpy. She's very sunshine. I like their dynamic together. And obviously they need each other to survive. And I like how they're slowly getting to know each other. And I like the way she is doing that by playing games like Truth or not Truth or Dare. They play like 2 truths and a lie, stuff like that. I think I wanted to say something else, but I forgot since I had to delete some things off my camera. But like overall, I'm really enjoying this game. I'm rooting for them. Oh, what I wanted to say, so comparing both these games. So here you have Phantasma, where you have to battle against strangers. Most of the people playing are mortals. Technically, like, there are ways you can forfeit, but if you die in this game, you actually die. But most of the people you play against, like 99% of the people you're playing with, are strangers that you don't know. Whereas in this one, it's they are battling against their family, against their siblings. So obviously that creates those are added stakes. But on the other hand, like dying, like if you actually die, everybody except Vivi, who is mortal, will not stay permanently dead. If they die in the game, they will get transported to hell, and then next year they're gonna play the game again. So on the one hand, the stakes are lower, but since it's family, it feels higher, in my opinion. So what I also found interesting is that they are all wraiths, and there's apparently 4 different classifications of wraiths. All of the siblings have like a different one. So some have similar one, but there's 4 classifications. I believe there's like 7 siblings or something, or 8 even. I think 7 siblings. But yeah, like I said, I am very much entertained. So like I said, even though I did like that this was like based on the 9 levels of hell, since it was 9 things that was determined by somebody else, as much as I did enjoy the trial parts of it, like the actual game part of it, combining with other things, obviously this felt repetitive. Whereas this one, I'm not sure yet, obviously because I've only had 1 hunt so far. But I feel like this is not going to be as repetitive, since they get to decide, like the siblings themselves get to decide what kind of game they're playing. So I flicked through it. So this had 9 levels. This already has 7 levels. So I feel like it's not going to be as repetitive. The stakes are very clear to me, at least. And I don't know, I'm very entertained. I think the combination of all those things, the fact that I'm really loving this couple, the fact that they didn't jump into bed immediately, the fact that I really like both characters, and I think it's like interesting that this is a family fighting each other, that makes me enjoy this book a little bit more than this one. I'm also flying through this book. I am flicking the pages. I really want to know. Part of it because I am uploading this video today, so there's a time limit. But this one, even though I knew I didn't have enough time, I just was not as intrigued with this book as I am with this one. One criticism I do have is, so this takes place in Italy. So far, I don't understand why. There was one Italian character who was like her taxi driver. I don't know why this is set in Italy. It would have made way more sense given the names of these people and this family, that it would be set in either the UK or the US. Not saying that there obviously can't be like British people living in Italy or Americans living in Italy, but to me there's really no added value of setting this in Italy, because Italy doesn't really play any part in it. It was only in the first 50 pages, and in my opinion, she didn't spend enough time on the setting to justify it being set in Italy. Like, this could have honestly, in my opinion, been set anywhere, because it's not that clear to me that it's in Italy. So anyway, so I feel like if you're gonna set it in Italy, at least have like some Italian characters, and it would make sense because obviously Dante from Dante's Inferno, in Dante from Dante's Inferno is Italian, so it would make sense that either in Phantasma or in Enchantra there would be some Italian characters. Okay, editing Aya here. So there is a wolf familiar that is named Dante. So I think that is her like one and only reference to like Dante and like the whole Italy thing. I think, I don't know, but I felt like since I harped on the whole Italy thing so much, I can rectify that. At this point in the story, that like that wolf was not introduced yet. So to have it set in Italy but not have Italian character, I don't know. Anyway, it's a nitpicky thing, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. I am gonna fly through the rest of this book, so you're gonna get my final update later today. So I'm reading this book while listening to the audiobook. And let me see how many hours I have left at the speed that I'm listening to. Yeah, so it says I have about 2 hours and 15 minutes left. So, and right now it is about 4 o'clock. But I'm not, like, I sometimes need to take a break from reading. So I think this video is going to be up later than usual. You will already know by the time you're watching it, obviously. But like I said, I'm really enjoying it. So far, this doesn't feel like a 3-star at all. If it goes the way it's going now, this can definitely get a 5-star. But we'll see. Obviously, you'll find out in like a couple seconds. You guys, okay, I'm on chapter 40. The way I fucking love Rowan, like he is so sexy. Like I love him. Okay, it's ruining my life. And you know, the only thing I have to say is I keep thinking about that Gordon Ramsay meme, which I'll leave right here.
Fuck him. Fuck him.
Yeah, Vivi. Fuck him. Okay, fuck him. Do it, girl. Do it. The way I love Rowan, like it has been a while since I had this kind of crush on a fictional character. I fucking love this man. I love this tortured shadow daddy. Okay, he's just amazing. Okay, I said like in love. Okay, I love him. He is so amazing. And I think I would also fall in love with him in like 5 days. Okay, he's amazing. Okay, like what can I say about him? What do you want me to say? Okay. You know, I want to read some actual lines, but that is going to spoil the book. But I love this guy. Okay. I want him. Okay. Where can I find him? Where can I find him? Okay. Where did you find him? Okay. I love him. Okay. Anyway, I just came here to say that and gush about my new book boyfriend. Okay. Like, do yourself a favor and read Enchantra, okay? Like, I know Phantasma is a very popular book, so maybe read that one too, but I honestly say skip Phantasma and go for Enchantra because I think Rowington is superior than Blackwell. But anyway, I love him. I want him, and I want his little fox familiar. Okay, and I even take Vivi. Like, I want all 3 of them, okay? Anyway, I'm just gonna continue reading. I'm almost done. I'm so excited. This is so good. So I just finished Enchantra and I'm gonna give it 5 stars. Of course, it's 5 stars. I really love this book. If you saw, you have seen me fangirling over Rowan. This was such a good book. What I really loved the family dynamic, the complicated family dynamic. I loved the way we got to know each and every one of the siblings, but I still have questions about a lot of them, but I really like their complicated dynamic. Like I said, like they love each other obviously, but they are forced to kill each other every single year. I just really loved it. And I'm very, I was debating, like when I picked this up, I thought, okay, so this is going to be a duology, right? Because it's about Ophelia and Vivi, but I am pretty sure we're gonna get books from this, at least from Rowan's siblings' perspectives, because she teased another type of game, and I'm so excited about it because as much as I loved Rowan, I loved him very much, of course. I was also very intrigued about his other siblings, so I'm so very excited about that, and I'm very glad I continued on with the series because, like I said, 5 stars. I think this might be my favorite book I read this year. Is that true? Let me see. Yeah, I think so. I honestly think this is my favorite book I read this year. Granted, I haven't read a lot of books this year yet, but I just adored this. So even though both these books had insta love, I think she just handled this one better. Like the way they got to know each other and the way we were privy to them getting to know each other, playing their little two truths and a lie game. I really loved it. It really made me feel like these two really knew each other. And like I said, the way that it took a while for them to get in the bedroom. And yes, technically, maybe if we calculate it, it's like in their world, it's the same amount of days when she had sex with Rowan and Ophelia had sex with Blackwell. But because it took more pages, I just felt like, I don't know, I really, by the time they finally did it, I was just dying for them to do it. And I forgot to say in the first book, but I really loved all their animal companions, like their familiars. I just love them. I loved, obviously the one we got to know the most was Umbra, his little fox, Rowan's little fox. And I just loved her, and I really loved the way that she got attached to Vivi too. Like I really love, I always love it when there's animals in books and when they have some sort of bond to any of the characters. And I just loved in this book how when, like, because of a certain thing that happened, she became bonded to Vivi. I really love that. And yes, Rowan definitely knew Shadow Daddy in the building, and I loved the way, so he can utilize his shadows, obviously, and I loved the way he used it during sex. That was so hot to me. It was so fucking hot. And I really liked the way they had sex. I thought obviously it was different than things that were in Phantasma. Rowan was definitely much kinkier, the way he used his shadows to restrain her and doing other things to her. There was choking in here too. So I just like that usually when an author writes a series, sometimes the sex can get very similar when that's kind of weird considering they're different characters, you know, but I feel like they were definitely a different couple than Ophelia and Blackwell. And what I also really love in this book, so towards the end, you do get some scenes with Ophi and Blackwell, and I really like them. I like that cameo in here. I really love the scenes with Blackwell in particular. And of course, this book, there was also a nickname, and it was Trouble. And when I read it, like when I knew that was gonna be the nickname, I was like, ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. But I do feel like he used it sparingly, like at least more sparingly than Blackwell did in Phantasma. So he called her Angel every time he referred to her or talked to her. Rowan didn't do that for Vivi. So I did like when he added it in, I just really liked it. So yeah, I honestly have to say no notes. I loved it so much. Like, and the tiny criticism I have is really not a criticism about it being set in Italy when it didn't need to be, but I really loved it. I would highly recommend it. Especially if you did not like Phantasma, I would still recommend this one because it is definitely different in my opinion. Like I honestly, like I said, Phantasma I gave 3 stars. I was debating giving it a 2, whereas Enchantra was a 5-star from very early on to me. I just really loved it. Like I said, it's one of my favorite books, and I just cannot wait to read the rest of this series. It was amazing. I loved it. Also, I really, like I said it in the first update, but by that point they only had 1 game. I also think that yes, the couples were different, but I also think the games were different. Like, it's not the same from Phantasma, both because the contestants, like I said, were different, but also the type of game. And obviously the setting that they were in was all different to me. So yeah, to be honest, like I feel like these were 2 solid different books. I know, I just felt like they were 2 different books, even though they had similar elements. So yes, 3-star, 5 stars. If you've read either Phantasma and or Enchantra, leave all your thoughts in the comments below. I'd really love to know your thoughts because I do know Phantasma was very hyped. So I would really like to know what were things that you loved about Phantasma, and I would also really love to know if you love Phantasma, what were your thoughts about Enchantra? Because in the past, it has happened to me where I really loved like a second book when I didn't love the first book that a lot of people really loved, and the people that really loved the first book ended up not liking the second book. So I would really love to know all your thoughts if you read these books. And like I said, I think in my intro, if you're down there and you don't want to say, you don't want to leave any comment, but you do want to say you were there, leave me a skull emoji for these books. And I really hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know by leaving a like if you did. And thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.